Liars suck. But what sucks even more is that the more a liar tells lies, the better they get at getting away with it. So how can you tell a liar from a genuine human? Well, it's easier than it sounds. Things like body language and tone of voice allow us to call out liars easily. Welcome back, Psychos. Today we'll be discussing 10 telltale signs that someone is lying to you. Make sure to stay until the end of the video where we'll share the most common sign that someone is lying to you. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel, as well as click the notification bell so that you never miss a video. Let's jump right into it, starting with number 1. They quickly move their head position. It's a common belief that when someone is telling a lie, they will automatically look away from making eye contact. However, liars are evolving, and these widely known cues are something they try hard to avoid. Unfortunately for them, their bodies can't help but to still find ways to show the other person that something isn't right, especially if they're consciously trying to avoid weird body language. Moving their head position quickly after telling or being struck with a lie is a perfect example of this. According to Dr. Lillian Glass, behavior analyst and body language expert, when people are caught in a lie, they tend to jerk their head back, down, or tilt their head to the side. This usually happens if the person is asked a question that would give away their alibi. So, if you think you've missed a lie, ask the person a question about it and watch their head movements. If you find there's something fishy going on, you're probably right. Number 2. They can become extremely still. There's two types of liars. One that becomes like a deer in the headlights, frozen in time and space as they try to explain themselves. And then there's the other type of liar, which we will discuss in the next point. This type of statue liar becomes stiff and tense. In fact, they're easy to point out because they seem extremely uncomfortable, and you will feel that discomfort radiating off of them. These statue liars are usually trying to outsmart the common stereotypes of fidgeting when nervous or putting on the spot. When humans engage in normal conversation, we have subtle movements and gestures and a relaxed attitude that provides comfort and engagement with the other person. When these types of liars are put on the spot, however, they'll scrap all of their body language in fear of any subtle movements will be taken as suspicion. If you find that that person is giving off a rigid stance while avoiding any type of natural movement, you can be sure that something's up. Number 3. They will sway, shuffle their feet, or fidget. And then there's the second type of liar, the fidgeter. This is pretty stereotypical in a person telling a lie and is considered the opposite of the statue liar in the sense that the fidgeting is caused by their flight response coming into play. The swaying, shuffling, or fidgeting is a body's natural response of nervousness and discomfort coming through. For these people, the conscious effort of overriding these natural responses would be too consuming and draining of their focus. Swaying from one leg to another, or shuffling feet in particular, is a telltale sign that this person wants to leave the conversation. The feet are acting in accordance with the fight response hormone being sent out in the body, instantly giving them away without their conscious permission. Meanwhile, fidgeting in between pauses or interrogation is a psychological sign of panic and a fast-thinking brain, as people who are caught out in a lie tend to be thinking at 100 miles an hour, trying to find convincing ways of pulling themselves out of the lie. Number 4. They will ramble about useless information. Another key sign that someone is lying to you has nothing to do with body language, is the same way they are explaining themselves. Do you find that they are bringing up information that has nothing to do with the point in an attempt to divert your focus of the lie and onto aspects of the situation that could be true? Rambling about useless information is a big one. For example, if you ask someone why they were late for work and they begin talking about how the traffic was horrific and they were stuck behind the slowest driver in town, they may leave out the fact that they slept in for 20 minutes past their alarm. They may even go as far as to say what type and colour of the car and the slow driver in front of them to divert attention away from their lateness. Number 5. They will repeat words or phrases. Another way liars attempt to validate their lie is an attempt to convince you and themselves of it seeming true is through repetition of words and phrases or key points. People use this tactic to buy more time for themselves to fabricate a convincing scenario that would explain the outcome of their lie. Liars use repetition to emphasize their main points that are often premeditated and rehearsed. Sometimes the more they repeat their points, the more passive-aggressive their tone will become, because they feel that the only seemingly convincing points they have aren't working as they intended. So keep in mind, nervous repetition usually means there's a lie to be uncovered. Number 6. They may cover or touch their mouths. Body language can be so ironic and can work against liars by literally giving away their alibi in plain sight. This subconscious body language is a great example of this irony. People caught in a lie often raise their hands to their mouths, chest, or throat, which is a subconscious way of letting the other person know they really don't want to communicate the topic. This firing of body language is a little less common, but that makes it all the more useful to detect a lie when it does happen. According to the body language expert Dr. Glass, when adults put their hands over their lips, it means they aren't revealing everything and they just don't want to tell the truth. She claims that she sees this in the courtroom as a consultant for attorneys. She knows when a testimony has hit a nerve with the defendant because they will raise their hands to their mouths, throat, or chest as a subconscious sign of an unwillingness to further communicate the topic. Number 7. They will change their breathing rhythm. The way and rhythm that we breathe can actually tell us a lot about how we're feeling and is often one of the first signs of a sudden change in mood or emotion. When humans panic, our breathing becomes deep and fast in comparison to when we're relaxed. Our breathing is shallow and slow, almost going unnoticed. So when someone is caught in a lie, it's no surprise that their breathing will have a sudden increase in intensity. In fact, heavy breathing is a psychological reflex that allows our bodies to intake the oxygen needed for a fight or flight response. To take notice of a change in breath, heavy breathing triggers shoulders to rise and become tense, as well as a change from a confident tone of voice to a more shallow, hesitant one. Change of breath is a sure sign of holding back crucial information that triggers mental panic. Number 8. They may forget to blink. Forgetting to blink is another one of those attempts to outsmart the typical stereotype of avoiding eye contact when caught in a lie. Unfortunately for the liar who attempts to use this tactic, they end up looking like a tense creep, giving themselves away instantly. Forgetting to blink can also be a result of overanalyzing their body language, which takes up so much attention in combination with trying to fabricate a story that they aren't allowing their bodies to continue with natural subconscious firing, like blinking and breathing at a normal pace. During a normal conversation where we feel relaxed and thoughts are flowing, our eyes naturally look away from time to time, but for people caught in a lie, a cold and steady gaze will be introduced in an attempt to manipulate the other person. It's their subtle way of saying, "Try me." Number 9. They will choke on their words. This sign is another common one, however, it's a sign that is much more difficult for a lying person to override. Jumbling words, stuttering, and having trouble finding the right words to explain something are all common signs that there is something distracting the person from a normal train of thought. Attempting to hide a lie takes a lot of mental capacity, especially when the person is put on the spot and is consumed with controlling all their body language to avoid giving themselves away. Aside from choking on their words, liars will actually find it difficult to physically speak. This is because autonomic nerve systems decrease salivary output when faced with mental distress, making it increasingly more difficult to actually use their mouths to speak properly and comfortably. Watch for parched lips, dry-sounding pronunciations, and a need for something to drink, which can all indicate that they feel distressed by information they're not willing to share. For the last and most common telltale sign of someone lying, number 10. They attempt to turn the tables. Defensiveness is a liar's best friend. If they can somehow turn the tables by coming off as offended that they are being accused of something, it can quickly give them the upper hand in the conversation. Turning the focus off of them and onto the accuser is more than just diverting the direction of the conversation. In fact, blaming someone else for the accusation of being a liar can quickly become passive-aggressive and can sometimes even become dangerous for the person confronting the liar. By becoming hostile and defensive, the person lying is giving a clear sign that they have something to hide that they are protecting with their superior behaviour. This hostility can be demonstrated through a change in their tone of voice, the words being used, a sudden change in body language, and gestures such as crossing arms, grand hand gestures, pointing at the accuser, and ingenuine smiling. So look out for any of these signs of defensiveness, for if they have nothing to be ashamed of, that calmness should show through their genuine explanation. Well, psychos, that's it for today's video. Have you ever used any of these signs to tell if someone is lying to you? Let us know in the comments below. Also, make sure to leave us a like, share this video with your friends, and also subscribe to our channel for more psycho videos. We hope you learned something, and we'll see you in the next video.